I didn't know why, and now I figured it out. So we're gonna get that going. Um, I was like hearing myself like triple. So I'm just gonna get that up and going. So, okay. I think we are live there. And now I've got it muted, so we're not hearing it double. Okay, perfect. All right. So, let me go ahead and hit record before I forget. I'm glad that you could get on here with me. And I'm going to go ahead and share. We'll chit chat a little bit at the end. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm going to try to not go too long because this is like where I geek out because I'm like, I really like this topic. So I'm going to try not to geek out too much. So, um, yeah. So for those of you who know me already, welcome back. And for those that are new, I know Wanda, you've been on a couple. I know Tamara's been on a bunch. Or Tamara, I'm sorry, I say it wrong every time. I don't know which one it is. Um,
Get the
but
M in there.
huh?
Tam or
Tamara. Okay.
yeah.
Tamara. Tamara. Okay. Um, it's like a tambourine. Okay, I gotta think about that. Anyways, so I'm excited that you're here, but I'm going to kind of introduce myself if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching the replay and you don't know me. Hi, I'm Mary Heather Fajardo. I'm the creator and herbalist of Journey on Nature's Path. I'm an educator and I love teaching people how to use herbs in their everyday life so they can start feeling symptom free, reducing symptoms so that they can feel better every single day. And so today we're going to give you a sneak peek. We haven't ever done this in the free community. We've only done this in behind closed doors in the paid part. And I kind of touched on it. I didn't really go quite in depth. So we're going to go a little deeper today. But we're going to talk about my routine. So if you don't know my story, I started using herbs because I was super anxious. I had a lot of anxiety, depression, and I just didn't know where to turn. I was even going to the ER because I thought I was having a heart attack. I was really just having panic attacks and anxiety, really severe. I tried to get on medication that was prescribed to me. That did not work. It actually made me stop moving. It was very scary. But I tried different avenues, but then I started looking into herbs, which is kind of the way I would prefer to do it anyways. And I realized that herbs not only can support your nervous system, can help you with symptoms, but they're also more gentle. And so I didn't have all the side effects that I have with all the other issues. And so I really love herbs. I love using them, and I've incorporated them into my busy schedule. I have two businesses. I am a mom. I homeschool, and I also go on trips pretty much every weekend. So I am not the type of person that is spending all my day focused on this, though I do spend a lot of time educating myself. I fit it into my day in easy, manageable ways, and I want to share with you how to do that. I'm going to give you examples of what I use because this is about my routine. But here's the thing, this isn't going to work for everyone with these specific herbs. Now, it will work with your herbs. So just make sure that you're keeping that in mind before we move forward further. Everybody has different herbs. Hi, Judy. Thanks for joining us. So let's go ahead and keep on going. So, what I do hear a lot in our community is that I don't have time to fit in herbs into my day. And what I keep telling, like, I keep thinking in my mind when you guys say that is we don't have time not to. Why? Because if you are struggling with concerns, this is something that we need to work on now because in long term it can get worse if we don't address the problem now. And so we really need to be starting to fit those in to our day. And it can be little steps at a time. I'm not saying you have to go into this full routine right away, but you need to start making actions today. Like it's never going to be a great time to start anything. Like when you have an activity, you're like, I want to, start working out. Well, it's not that easy to start working out if you don't have, because there's always something, oh, well, I have to do this, I have to do that. But if you are intentional about it, you can fit it into your day. You fit into your day what's a priority to you. So I want you to think right now, what are you spending time on? And what are things that you could maybe reduce a little bit so that you have a little bit more time for herbs? This could be scrolling. This could be maybe you read, maybe you're a reader. Maybe you do go on hikes, but you don't get your tea on the way out. So whatever it is for you that kind of sucks that time but doesn't really give you any benefit, I want you to be thinking about how you can be replacing those. And that could be something that we do in the future as a live on replacing some of those behaviors. But today we're going to be talking about, um, using herbs in your everyday life. Okay. Um, oh, and the other thing is when you are thinking about using herbs, it gives you more energy. It gives you less symptoms, whether it's pain, whether it's you can't sleep, whether it's you have a chronic cough. These are all things that are sucking the life out of you. And so you can't get things done when you're in the bed, when you don't feel good, when you've got a migraine, all these things. These are the things that are actually blocking you from getting things done. If you start incorporating herbs, you're actually expanding your time because you can get things done faster. You have more time to do it and you feel better. Okay. So that's one thing that I always think about when I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have time to grab that tea this morning. I'm like, okay, just get a cold infusion. If you don't have time to heat up some herbs, that's totally fine. Grab some herbs, put them in a drink, and get out the door. So we'll talk more about that here in a minute. But this is also can extend your life. I mean, to be honest, especially if there are some more issues that are more serious. This really can help you live a healthier, happier life. Okay. All right. So here's a basic plan. We're going to dive deep into this, but just a general idea of what I get in typically during the day. Every day is different. So I'm not saying I do this every single day. There are days where I have, um, a lot going on and I don't get every single one of these, but I try to hit one or two even on those harder days. First of all, in the morning, I will have tea. That's a given. You usually have coffee, and I used to have coffee, and then I would try to fit my tea in right after my coffee, and I just like it was a hard to fit both of them. And then I realized I had herbs that actually gave me more sustained energy and fueled my body and didn't drop like coffee. And so I actually switched it over. And I never thought I would switch over. So you can too. So I'm not saying you have to, but it is a great replacement. Okay, yogurt snacks are great to add herbs into them. We'll talk about how to do that. Lunch, there's a salad and then a tall glass of ice herbs. So just herbs that you put in ice water. A garden walk. A lot of times I'll walk in the morning before or with my tea. But if I'm stressed and I'm like, I've done a lot during the day, I do a garden walk. Then dinner, handful of fresh herbs into whatever meal you're having. And then bedtime is like a warm wind down tea. Okay. So 6 herbal moments, zero extra effort, and a whole plan. So you can do this too. Okay. So the first thing in the morning is you rise, you sip. Now, I like a hibiscus blend. And then I typically add Schisandra berry or something else I'll talk about in just a minute. But the hibiscus blend has a lot of other things in it. A lot of those hibiscus blends also have chamomile, also have rose hips, also have things that are helping your nervous system calm down. And why do we need something in the morning to calm down our nervous system? I usually add it with Schisandra berry. Schisandra berry sometimes pushes me up too high because it's an adaptogen, but it gives you a lot of energy. So I'm trying not to go too high. If you don't run anxious, then maybe you just want the Schisandra berry. Maybe you run lower. But that's what I'm doing. Um, and that's my blend. So I really like this in the morning, and I like to change up the flavor so there's not the same thing every single morning. Some people are very habitual, and some people like to have the same thing every morning, but I like a little variety. Okay, next, in the hibiscus, we're getting a lot of vitamin C. It's got blood pressure support and it also has blood sugar regulation. So first thing in the morning, especially if tend to spike with that breakfast, you can have it then. And if I'm having a busy day and I know I'm not going to get all the things in, I will make a pitcher of this. So instead of having to grab herbs to put in my ice water, I'll just pour this when I'm getting ready to head out the door so I can have this later on in the day for when I'm, traveling. So I work and travel. So also the other thing that I will add instead of Schisandra berry is a mushroom matcha drink, and this is a specific one. You can find your own if you like. I'm not sponsored, but this is the one I've been drinking lately, and I really feel like it's doing great for my mood, my energy, my immune system, and my mental clarity. So I really like this one as a pick-me-up in the morning, and so it's really helps me focus. Now, what I typically do is I make this into a cold foam, which is a lot of work, so you don't have to do that. But I will add a little honey or a little bit of sugar and I will mix it around and then I'll put it on the top of that hibiscus drink. So it's just kind of on the top. I'll mix it in eventually. But it's a nice little sweet topper. It doesn't mix that great, so it does take a little bit of like, mixing. If you have one of those automated with or like a blender, yeah, you can do it in a blender. Sometimes I'll put it in a mason jar and shake it around. I'll also, if you have one of those mini, what are they called? Frothers. I think they're like the mini frothers. Oh, those are kind of more trendy now that it's, I don't know, like people are making the cold foam at home. Those are really great to do it. But either way, however you feel like doing it, sometimes whisking it, I just whisk it. I add cream or heavy whipping cream and a little bit of half and half. So that way it kind of froths up. Sometimes I'll just add milk. Okay. There's a lot of different options here, but the point is getting that in. And I also, if I've got a little bit extra time and I can add that too, moringa powder is great and gotu kola powder. These are great to add into your blend because these are going to give you more immune system and more brain functioning, okay, without being too much. And so yeah, that's the way I do it. But yeah, go to okay. Go to also helps with circulation. So it's great for like a busy morning. Of course, I don't do it on my busy mornings, but you can add that into that blend. And so if you're like, oh, I'm never gonna have extra time, just go ahead and add it to your blend if that herb works for you. So then you don't even have to think about it. Because just because that blend is made the way it's made doesn't mean you can't add a few things into it. All right, so our snack. So this is one that I go to pretty often. I like this. You can make this pretty quickly. Grab some Greek yogurt. You're going to mix in either maki berry powder, acai powder, or cinnamon. So mix that into I just get plain Greek yogurt and then add some granola on top with some berries. So whatever berries that you prefer. I typically use blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries, whatever I have on hand. And then I'll add a drizzle of honey on top. That gives it a little bit of a sweet, but also it's beneficial as well. So this is a great pick-me-up if you are having that slump. Maki berry was used by warriors to help them outlast really long times without food and adrenal fatigue or just a lot of fatigue. So this is perfect for you if you are dealing with a lot of fatigue. Acai is another one that's really great. It's got a lot of antioxidants. It's great for immune system. And then cinnamon, of course, this helps with blood sugar. A lot of times, if I have all three real close, I'll just add all three. That just like powder the cinnamon on top. So this is a great blend, great heart blend too. All right, so for lunch, so there are two different options for lunch because it depends on if I want something cooked or I want something like a salad. So if you are a breakfast eater, then I typically add my herbs into my eggs. So that's pretty easy. Scramble up some eggs, add whatever herbs you want into that. That one's super easy. You're already making your eggs anyway, so just add some herbs in that. So for lunch, though, I typically have a greens mix, some vegetables. So it'll just really be what I have on hand. I'll add a protein, whether it's an egg, a chicken, or a fish, and then avocado. And I usually use lime juice sometimes, or olive oil. I use avocado oil. And then I usually use lemon juice, but you can use olive oil or sorry, I use lime juice. You can use lemon juice if you want to. So the best part about the lemon juice in that is that it's going to help you digest that as well as break down some of those herbs as you're digesting and some of those rougher vegetables if you've got kale or cabbage or spinach then it'll help digest some of that in your gut as long as you don't run too hot. So thyme, lemon thyme, oregano, basil, holy basil, and skullcap when appropriate. I like skullcap when I'm over like there's a lot of thoughts going on and I can't settle down. And then our garden stir fry. Typically, I'll add whatever veggies I have. Sometimes I don't have time, so I'll just cut open a bag of mixed vegetables, frozen mixed vegetables, and throw them in a pan and cook it. Sometimes I have like that pre-cooked chicken in the freezer too that I'll add. Then I just add a little bit of olive oil. And if I have, my husband makes rice and kind of leaves it for the next day or quinoa. So I'll grab that and then add it to it. So this is a really great quick meal. And then of course I add the herbs. So I add thyme or lemon thyme, basil, and oregano, but that's just what I have to grab from my garden. So if you have something different, and I add parsley a lot too, but if you have something different in your garden, think about what the flavors might combine to be good. I love like oregano and basil when I'm adding like a tomato sauce or a tomato in it. It gives you kind of like that pizza or Italian, flavor pasta flavor there. So I like this one. All right, and then so for lunch, we're also going to add that lemon or the hibiscus tea. So this is what's left over. Sometimes I have a chamomile, blueberry chamomile. Sometimes if I'm like stressed out, then I do the chamomile at this time. If I'm already exhausted and I'm tired, then I might reach more for the Schisandra berry. So this is going to vary depending on my day. And so, but the hibiscus tea, if you've already got it ready and going, that one's going to be a nice one. You can grab some mint, lemon balm, or just lemon slices. Into your tea as well. And so if you're like, I can't drink the same thing twice in a day, then just adding a little bit of mint or a little bit of lemon balm to your tea that's already made, this is going to change the flavor profile a little bit. So this is going to help. So be thinking about how you can maybe just uh, add something or take it away to change that flavor profile. And then a walk in the garden. I love to just go out in the garden and like just check on things, look at the plants sometimes. Sometimes I don't even grab anything, I just go look, and that's just as powerful. But other times most of the time I'll grab motherwort and I'll put it in my cheek if I'm having a stressful day. And then I didn't have the chamomile ready. So I'll just put a leaf in my cheek. And that one helps me calm down so much, especially during my menstrual cycle. So if you guys have that, that one is really good for that. But it's good other times too. It doesn't just have to be your menstrual cycle. But it's a great time to just decompress and reorient. Okay, what do I need to do for the rest of the day, but not put pressure on it. Just like enjoy the garden and then maybe at the last little bit, like what else do I need to finish? Okay, and then so for dinner, I typically am busy or like I'm just got home from work. I've got a lot going on, so I'll start making something and then I'll add some fresh herbs. My go-to for dinner is typically cilantro. My husband is Hispanic, so we have a lot of cilantro. It's great in pico de gallo. It's great on tacos. It's great in rice bowls or in soups. I really like it in like a fish soup with turmeric. Oh, that one's really good. Turmeric and then a little bit of coconut or cream. That that hits the spot. Sometimes a little paprika in there. Parsley is great. I usually add that in a lot of vegetables and pasta salads, as well as it's rich in vitamin K, vitamin C. And then basil is another great one, great in pastas, roast vegetables. And then oregano and thyme. These are great in soups, sauces, roasted dishes. Anything you think feels Italian typically is good for oregano. So, and this leaf looks like oregano, that one doesn't. So just a heads up. And that looks like thyme. Oh, and that's because it's got thyme there too. I was like this, but that one looks, I don't know, like motherwort. Or I mean, mugwort or something. I don't know. All right, and then your bedtime routine. So calm down with some herbal tea. So this is great to add like chamomile, lemon balm, holy basil. This could be a great skull cap time. But typically I will use a chamomile blend. I love the chamomile blueberry right now. That's one that I'm like, that's my go-to when I need to calm down. Sometimes I'm already in that, calm space. Also, other options are coconut water and magnesium supplement. If I'm like, I've already had my chamomile tea or my holy basil, I'm still not calm, then a lot of times I'll think it's probably a magnesium. Now, if you're high in magnesium, this is not for you, okay? But if you coffee gets rid of magnesium. Okay, so if you guys are coffee drinkers, you might be low on magnesium. I'm not saying you are, but you might be. So I think, is this potentially magnesium? And usually, my body with like if I take magnesium supplement within 30 to minutes to an hour, I'm ready for bed. So don't take it too early. Um, so yeah, so you guys know how to use these. So I just want you to walk away with a big shift in thinking. Like you don't have to set aside every day to do herbs all day. It's just those little habits, putting things beside the stove, adding something to a meal that you're already making. It doesn't have to be complex or um, crazy. Um, so it doesn't have to even be 6 times a day like this. Just pick one of these and add one more thing than you're already doing. So if you already do it once, okay, great. Just add one more of these. So you don't feel like you're overwhelmed. Because if you jump in, you do all six one day, 2 days, 3 days, fourth day, you might be overwhelmed, you know? So, I mean, I'm sure you'll start feeling better. And then also the other thing is if you're not used to that, it can be a shock to the system. So you want to make sure that this herb is working for you if you're not already incorporating it. Take time with the herbs, feel them out, feel how your body feels. This is super important. Okay, I just want to see what the time is. Make sure I'm not like overtime. Okay, yeah, we're doing good. All right. Um, so yeah, you don't need to change your entire life. Pick one entry point and then repeat it till it's automatic. This is something that I feel like you should do with any type of habit that you're adding, whether it's exercise, whether it's, a cleaning ritual or, anything like that. You need to start it, repeat it till it's automated, and then build from there. No big overhaul. So what are the next steps? So I've already kind of teased this in the community, and I know there are several people that have already taken advantage of this. But a free one-on-one with me to decode some of those symptoms. Now, I know some people are actually getting tests and they already like know what a lot is going on. But just decoding those symptoms so that we can start understanding what's going on and identifying some of those patterns. Like if you have low sleep, uncovering what may be draining your vitality every day, or low energy, sorry. Poor sleep. Why are you so revved up that you can't go to sleep? Brain fog. Is it because you have too much on your plate and you're anxious? Or is it because you have a lot of inflammation, your digestion discomfort, like is it stress imbalance? So we need a starting place to kick off, and so this is going to help kickstart you because I see a lot of people staying at that same level in the community. And so they are trugging along at that same level. And I want you guys to start making progress. So this is free, totally free one-on-one session with me. 15 to 20 minutes, and I have gone over a few times, so just give yourself a little extra time just in case. I'm gonna try not to. I try to respect your guys' time, but sometimes I do go over. But understanding your system so that you don't have to keep guessing is what this is going to provide you. You don't want to wonder about what you're going to need, but you do need to start with one routine, one drink, one meal, and one moment. This is going to help you decode. And so make sure you're booking it today. I only have sessions up till next week. And I don't know if I'm going to do this again, but I did want to make sure that the people that are ready to take that next step have that available to them right now. So I'm going to put the link in the the in the chat, but um okay, but it's just www.journeyonnaturespath.com. So it's pretty simple. Um, it's my main website. So you can book it there and just make sure there are only so many spots available. So make sure you're hopping on there too as fast as you can. So you can get those. And then I'm going to stop sharing. And then I'm gonna ask for any questions, any like comments. Have you done this? Oh no, did I not record? Okay, no, I haven't recorded. It just has the red dot like I haven't pressed it. So, okay, I'm recording, guys. Do you guys have any questions, comments, anything? Did you guys learn anything new? Anything you might be trying to implement soon?
Good
You
information to to start one pattern and to get it for a week.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna probably start at the beginning. I do herbal tea sometimes in the morning, but I'm not consistent. So I'll work on my first week being more consistent with
Yeah.
my herbal tea, and then I'll move on.
Perfect. Perfect. And then you can tell what it's doing to your body. You can start seeing after that week, like, okay, what am I seeing? What are the changes? I feel like once you identify, okay, this is really good for my system because X, Y, and Z, it's like automatic. You want to do it again. Like, why do we drink coffee every morning? Because we feel good, because it gives us energy. Now we might get slumped later in the day, but we stay motivated because it makes us feel better. Yeah. See. Um, Tamara. How do you say
know,
Tamara? Tamara.
camera.
I'm always so hesitant. You're like, this girl cannot get this. Did you want to say something?
Well, I'm just working on that blend that we had
Yes.
talked about, looking up which ones they are and trying to adapt it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to do a lot at once. Have you tried those like individually?
Most of them, yes,
Okay. Okay,
because
good.
I already have that stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that I'm finding now, it's like, okay, now I'm going to have to order that because I don't have it.
Yeah.
So,
And then try it. Yeah.
yeah, like the Vitex is one of them. So,
Is that chaseberry too? Is that also
yes,
named chaseberry? Yeah.
yeah, that and
Yeah.
the maca. You said maca berry. A
Root.
lot of the
No,
root. I
so the
thought you
one
said
I
berry.
talked about in the thing is maki berry. I think I might have said maca. It's maki berry, but it's Maqui.
Okay,
Okay. Bye, Judy. Yes, I'll have the slides. Yeah, later. Yes. But yeah, that one's the one that's really, I love that one. It can, where I run anxious, sometimes it can tip me over the edge, so I do have to be careful about not doing too much. But I think that would be a good one for you to stimulate your system.
okay.
Yeah. So,
That's the maki berry,
yes,
not the maca.
Maqui.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, not the maca root. Because I
Yeah,
know that.
macaroon. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it
that
also is a stimulant. It also helps with hormones. So um, it can
both
do
of
a
those
very similar. Huh?
both of those do the maki
Yeah,
berry.
maca and
Okay,
maki. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yep. Juan, did you have any questions? I know you can't use your microphone right now. Any comments? I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording. But yeah, I